I guess as media, I'm told that you're not supposed to be emotionally involved.
You have to be.
But man, look, dude, I'm repping, but I'm repping the Phillies too, right? I'm repping the Phillies too. I got my Philly shirt on underneath.
Oh, and you got the hat.
I do.
Fourth of July hat on.
Yeah, I got it on, don't I?
Yeah, there you go.
I can't even keep track. I'm so gung ho over
my
Phillies and my Owls.
Good combination.
So, when I had to write the article after the game the other night, I sat there and I'm thinking, all right. And I remember, in the first half of that game, leading up to halftime, USF had scored right before half and they made it 21-7. And I've seen FAU the last few weeks go up immediately, couple of scores.
Right.
And then it turns into a nail biter down the end. I don't know what happened in the second half. Coach Herman said he didn't know what happened in the second half. They weren't expecting that. But, man, did they open up a can of whoop ass in the second half?
Mm-hmm.
It was so much fun. I'm going to click this button and bring Jackson on here. But it was, and what I did not get to is I wanted to pull a bunch of highlights, but then I would have had to cut them up and whatnot. And I just didn't get to do that.
Right.
But, man, what a game. I want to know where that came from because Coach Herman didn't know. There he is.
Yes, sir.
Look at you. How are you, man?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. All right. So when we're getting feedback from somewhere, Duncan, mute yourself for a second. See if that's coming from you. Jackson?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. I can hear you. You're good. You're good. He's just coming in a little loud, but we can't control that, so it's all good. Man, where did that second half? It's nice to meet you, first of all.
Meet you too.
We'll get to all those pleasantries in a couple of minutes here, but where the heck did that second half outburst come from?
I mean, honestly, it was just down to discipline. I mean, you see, like you talked about, you stated the past couple games, we get ahead and then, it's kind of like not to say panic, but like, like we're ahead, we got to keep going, we got to keep rolling. And then, this game, Coach Herman just kept hitting on it. Just, the past, I think it was like 4 or 5 games. I mean, we're up double digits. He's like, we should be used to this. And we just got to keep rolling. And then the second half, we came out. I mean, and you just started seeing them break after every play, and then we just kept rolling.
All right, so I'm going to ask you a question. I asked Jerron this, and did you confer with Jerron or Bert before you came on and ask them, hey?
I talked to J-Mo a little bit about like how to get on and everything, and he enjoyed it. I actually watched the skit on this morning on YouTube.
Which one did you watch?
J-Mo's, Jaren's.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he's a good dude. I saw him after the game. He's a real good. We loved him when he was on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him after the game. So I was coming behind. I yelled. I said, Quattro show. And I guess only his really big fans call him that because he turned around immediately. He's like, oh, man, give me a hug. But he danced around this question when I asked him. And we had him on early in the season.
Okay.
And the defense, get rid of the Clemson game. Just throw that away. All right. Your defense has been good. I mean, you guys are holding. I got it here. Right? You guys are holding teams under 20 points a game, right? Your average points allowed is 16.8 a game. If you get, I don't know, that might be including Clemson actually. We asked Jerron. I said, does it? Aggravating is not the correct word, but does it bum you out as a defense when you're pounding and they're just not moving the ball on you, but your offense can't get going? And he gave the politically correct answer. He's like, nah, man, we're all in this together. And so I'm not going to ask you that same question, but I'm going to ask you, how good does it feel this week that your offense went off like that?
Amazing. Because when we're firing on all cylinders, I mean, I feel like we could beat anybody, and that's that.
Yeah, it certainly looked like it. And you guys opened up you guys opened up plus 2 points last week, which I know you may or may not follow this stuff. And then this week you guys are opening up plus 2 points. And I think it was Owl's Nest that tweeted it out that you guys were opened up plus 2. And I tweeted back. I said, so what? They opened up plus 2 last week, and look at what they did.
Yeah.
And I got so much to ask you. What time is practice? I'll get you out of here before practice tomorrow. All right.
Yeah. I mean, nothing crazy.
All right. So first question, and we got a lot here. All right. So you transferred in this year, so you get 2 years eligibility left, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you're gonna play this year and next year. You already got your degree in Homeland Security.
That's correct.
That's like Jason Bourne type stuff, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Man, it is a dangerous time to want to get into Homeland Security, but
I took what was I in? Business, and then I hopped into micro, and I was like, this isn't for me. I was like, I can't sit behind a desk. And then they introduced me to Homeland, and I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. So I just ran with it.
Dude, if you didn't play college football, I guarantee you would have been a Marine or some sort of Army Ranger or something like that.
It's funny you say that. That was like, that's what I wanted to do. If I didn't get into college football, college school was paid for. That was what I was going to do. Yeah.
So you came over from Albany.
Mm-hmm.
You were a Great Dane.
Correct.
Now, I think that I've made it known that I'm all in on owls, and I'm more of an owl fan than I am media at this point. But man, Great Danes, that's like an intimidating name. You know, you're like the big dogs, and you go to the owls, and it's kind of like the owls, like owl, knock them off the fence type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Did you consider that at all as you were making the decision? You're like, wait, I'm a
No. As soon as I came, I saw the palm trees and the sunshine and the facilities. I was like, yeah, I'm in.
You need some more snow up there in Albany. Come on.
Cold and gray. Mm-mm.
Cold and gray.
Yeah.
Cold and gray, man. Cold and gray.
So I there's a lot of stuff here. Look, number one, everyone that I've talked to about you has just praised the hell out of you. You got to have that guy. He's the best. He's awesome. Katrina, highly recommended. They're like, wait a minute, why did you not have Jackson Ambush on? And I'm like, is that really his name? Because what the first game I saw, and I heard them announce Ambush, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, this is like that XFL when they got to make up those really cool names and put them on the back of their jerseys. And they do that in college football, but man, that is an awesome name, bro. I mean, I know you have nothing to do with that. You have to thank your parents for it. But
I'm blessed. Yeah, my dad, ended up with a cool last name, so just repping it now. Professional
wrestling could be in your future if Homeland Security doesn't, if you retire from football, because you already got the name right there. Mm-hmm. So you decide to come over to FAU, and I read that in the very beginning, you said that I guess it's practice. Mm-hmm. Being involved with FAU and Coach Herman was sort of a culture shock.
Yeah,
and I'm going to quote the article. You said this is not for everybody.
Yep.
What did you? How was it a culture shock? And what did you mean by it's not for everybody?
I can go to the first story of Coach Herman. So it is day one of camp, and I'm coming in like we just had practice. I had a decent practice, whatever. Like, cool. We go into the defensive meeting, and my DC Coach Rock, and they start pulling up plays, and it's like loafs. So loaf is lack of effort, yada yada yada. We're going through plays, and it's like, play one, ambush. I'm like, oof. Play two, ambush. I'm like, oof. And it was like all of my lows were on the screen in front of everybody. First day out. And I'm like, this is going to be great. We go into the team meeting, and there's probably, the whole team plus everybody else that's in there, probably maybe 90 people. I don't know, give or take.
Ouch. Coach
Herman's going through it, and he's going through the script. So it's good, bad, and ugly. So the good for the day, the bad for the day, and the ugly for the day. Ugly pops up first. And he goes, ambush. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And he just starts rambling. I mean, just going off. And I'm like, in front of everybody, I'm like, oh, this is day one. I'm like, this is going to be rough. But I mean, I haven't been up there since. I mean, it's just something he believes in, like public, like kind of embarrassment type of thing. Cause like once you know how you feel that and you just don't want to see it again. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was my wake up call when I got here, and then also the weather, the heat, and the way Joey G, our trainer, works us out. Man, it's different. I think we train harder than anybody in the nation, if I'm being honest.
But you have that really cool nutritionist in that program because we got a little tour behind the scenes before the season started.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you guys come off the practice field and you get the smoothies with everybody's name is on. And they know, and I read that you gained, I'm assuming muscle. You gained a bunch of weight since training started.
Yeah. Yeah, Addie's great at what she does, and we're blessed to have her. That girl works harder probably than anybody in the building. I mean, she's there before I get there. I get there at 5:20 maybe, and she's already there making shakes, make sure breakfast is ready, after practice, I'm getting Pedialytes. All my drinks, like hydration drinks, are made. Protein shakes. I mean, she's great at what she does.
Yeah, I was quite envious. I was wanting to go back in time and play college football when I saw everything that you guys had going on there. Look,
Yeah.
I also read, and I'll let Duncan jump in here with questions also, but I also read that you were under recruited coming out of high school.
Yeah.
I know that you hurt your ankle your junior year in high school, and then for whatever, your high school coach said you were under recruited. Did you have a lot of choices coming out of high school, or was Albany pretty much it?
I had one division offer at Albany, and I took it.
All right. And then when you came over, you had no guarantees that you were even going to be a starting player here at FAU, correct? Because I also read that you won the starting job basically right before the first game of the season.
Yeah, we went into week 1. I didn't even know who was starting. We had no idea. But yeah, I remember sitting down with Coach Rock, and he was like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. This is what we have, and you got to come in and earn it." And I just came in, put my head down every day, and just worked, and ended up starting week 1 and been starting since.
Duncan?
No, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking about the shakes and having to put my request in for the height shake. I keep sending it, but I keep getting denied, man. I'll take about half of your size there, Jackson, and I'd be better off in my life. So you won a high school championship, get up to Albany, did the degree, Homeland Security, which is like very commendable, especially in today's day and age. That drive, though, that fever, that wantingness to really, see yourself out, in college football. Was that just something like you had to prove it to yourself to see if you could hang with these guys, or, looking ahead like, I think I can do this on Sunday. I think I got the determination, I got the drive. I definitely accountable to myself because you haven't been on the oof list. I mean, so like what made you say, you know what, let me transfer and let me give this my all?
Yeah, it was kind of a conversation with me and my dad. I'm blessed to have my dad. We talk all the time, every day, and we were up there for a while, and stuff wasn't shaping out how I wanted it. I mean, losing seasons and whatnot. I won't get into that, but I got my degree. Well, after my junior year, I was a freshman All-American. Me and Jared Verse.
Yep.
Me and him will play together. We were both freshman All-Americans. My dad, he enters the portal, and we're talking about it. I'm like, you know what? I'll ride it out one more year, get my degree, and we'll see what happens. So then, I got my degree, and then just decided to come down here and, ultimately just take my chances, because if I can't play FBS at the level that I need to, I can't play in the league. So that was my decision. Just like, okay, move up in level competition and see how I perform.
I mean, obviously you're one of these guys that's like dialed in. So like, walk me through, like when you wake up in the morning, you stare at yourself in the mirror, you see a guy who, you don't have to be in college. You have a degree. You can get out there.
Hold on, Duncan. Not everybody's as vain as you, where they wake up and stare at
You got to motivate yourself. We're talking about Coach Prime, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to build stuff up a little bit. Thank upstairs for the gifts and all that. You want to get out there and change the world. But like, when you see yourself, like it could be real easy for someone in your position to just be like, you know what, I've had my fill. I'm done. Like what you keep coming back. You keep pushing through. Is there anything special that you're like doing? Any mantra? Any little inside thing?
I mean, with me, I pray every morning. Thank God for all the blessings that I have, and ultimately, I think it would just be my family. My parents show up as much as they can, so making them proud, and I got a little nephew, so I kind of want to show him the ropes, and just keep going and attacking every day, and that's that.
All right, awesome, I got to ask a question here, right? Because between you and Bert and Quattro Show, you guys are three of the nicest dudes I have ever met in my life. And you all talk about praying and family. And I mean, is this, and this is a serious question, right? Because when I was your age, I wasn't talking the way any of you guys were talking.
Yeah.
Now, if I got one guy that came on and said, I spent a lot of time praying and this is important to me and my family, I'd say, okay, I get it. But it's everybody. And I wish, honestly, I wish I was more like you guys, all of you, when I was your age. but I wasn't. It took me a while to grow up and to
Yeah.
get it together. So is this where does this come from? Is this look, this is from Coach Herman, and this is what we say, and this is what we do, and this is what we believe. And then when nobody's looking, you guys are out there, I don't know what the right words are, but doing juvenile delinquent sort of stuff, or
No, I mean, with me, it's what you see is what you get. I mean, it's just we all were raised right. We all have great parents, and then Coach Herman is just kind of like a father figure from home. He's just making us into mature young men before he sends us in the world. Because like tomorrow could be my last snap, and I'm put in the work world. Like everything he does is preparing us for life. So, big shout out to Coach Herman because he's changing a lot of dudes' lives and how they look at things.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Let me go backwards for a minute to Albany.
Yeah.
All right. So that's really where you started to become a man, basically. You come out of high school, you go into college. What were some of the good things? If I had to ask you, what are your top 3 memories of being at Albany? Football or not football? Why was Albany something that you're always going to remember for the rest of your life, and how did it impact you?
Definitely, the relationships I made there. That's one, with my coaches and my boys that I live with. I'll cherish those forever. Football wise, just the game of football. Like that's where I've learned a lot. Like I came out of high school, it was just see ball, get ball, right? And then you get to college and it's like you're learning a whole different language. I remember getting on the phone with my dad. I'm like, Dad, I could beat this kid out. Like the kid that's been there for 3 years. And then we get to the first install and I call my dad. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. Like I don't know what cover 2 is, Dad. Like it was just we ran cover 4 in high school. Like I don't know what's going on, but that. And you said top 3. I can tell you one I won't miss is the snow. That's
come on.
I will not miss outside. I won't miss that.
No angels going on.
Yeah. The winter workouts were fun. I'm not gonna lie. Those were.
Well, I did. I read that. I don't know if you said that Coach Herman said that you can do snow angels in confetti when you guys win the conference title.
Yeah.
What can we? And we're going to bounce all over the place because I'm not going to ask you about X's and O's and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody else that wants to interview you can stick to all that sort of stuff. We kind of like to have fun. And who's your favorite NFL team? If you got drafted today, they changed the rules. Draft was today. Somebody wants you.
Baltimore.
Well, because you grew up in Maryland. I figured Philly, Baltimore, or Washington.
Man, another strong defensive player in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that legacy going, man. Keep it going.
Did you, when you were in school, did you play any other sports other than football, or was it football and that's it?
When I was younger, I played basketball, baseball. Basketball was like a bull in a china shop. Didn't really work out. Found out every game. Just something to keep me moving. Played a little bit of baseball. Kind of wish I stuck with it, but like J-Mo, it just didn't have the action for me when I was little. So I kind of stuck away from that, and then somehow turned out to be decent at football. So stuck with that one, and then just kept rolling the dice on that.
How tight are you and Quattro's show? Because I read an article where they've made a really big deal about you guys coming in together. I know you guys didn't actually come in together because he came from Texas and you came from New York, but do you guys form a bond being sort of not rookies, but the new guys on the team? And
kind of like vets there. Yeah, we communicate really well. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of second nature between us, like immediately, like if we see something wrong, say communication wise out there, we'll easily correct each other. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like we've seen a decent amount of football. So it's just like our bond and connection, especially when we first came in, it was pretty strong.
How good is he? Because he's everywhere in the middle of everything.
Of nature. He's a freak of nature. I haven't seen anything like it. Someone his size that can just fly around and every game he's making some type of spectacular play.
Yeah.
He's just a
when
freak.
we had him on, it was so early in the season that we didn't really get to see him shine yet.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I'm like, man, I got to get him back again.
Did you watch the Illinois game?
Yeah.
When he blew that kid up, it was first down? They turned the ball over right away? Yeah. Yeah, he's just a heat-seeking missile. Yeah, he's good with it.
He's definitely dynamite. What, Mike?
Yes, sir.
Anything? Or I'll keep going here. Okay,
I want you to keep going. I'm sitting there thinking. I'm looking at Jerron's stuff, looking at his stuff, and I see. And this is how I look at a lot of college players sometimes. And I think as guys not in the thick of it, we notice and I was watching Jerron's stuff. The speed, like you were talking about it earlier. Like you see this in certain players. You look at guys and people pretty even, matched, a lot of talent across the board. And then there's one or two guys, and if you get amp that speed up, then you get the communication going with someone else. And you said you've seen a lot of football. Like I can't, like from where I stand, like I don't know how many times I've seen in my like whatever observing career, like chemistry between players, knowing where someone's going to be at, being able to rely on them, and just having that sixth sense of like, they're there. I know he's there. I know they're going to be there. I don't even got to think about it. And before I'm calling to correct it, they're already calling to correct it as well. And, when you start to have a couple of those guys on the team, you start winning games 56-14. You start stacking on top of each other. Good things follow good things. And it comes back to your coach, comes back to the players, comes back to your, team accountability. And it's a pleasure to watch from all sides because you're watching people grow. You know what I mean? And like AJ was saying, fortunately for us, the three gentlemen that we've had, to speak with, I think there are more gentlemen like you that are the exception to the rule that don't get enough FaceTime, that don't get enough, hey, look at me. I'm doing the right thing. I'm keeping my nose clean. I'm doing my schoolwork. I'm big with my family. I'm showing up. I'm holding myself accountable.
On the field, when you're there on the sidelines, you hear the same names over and over and over again. You hear Ambush, you hear Morris, and you hear Wester because there's two of them. So you can't give all the Westers one of the credit because they're both on both sides of the ball. It's like at first, Rob, who goes games with me, goes, I think the announcer is messed up. He keeps saying Wester on both sides. He goes, that kid's not playing both sides, is he? I said, no, there's two of them.
Yeah, there's two of them.
That's the brothers.
All right, let me ask you this. All right, get off the football field for a minute. Get away from practice. You're in Florida now. What's your favorite part? What do you like to do down here? What are you digging about Florida?
Beach.
Okay.
Love the water. Love the water. So the beach is big go-to for me, and fishing too. Yeah, me and my buddy Jarrett, we do a decent amount of fishing. So.
Did they take you up to the roof before you agreed to?
I went to the 5th floor. I didn't go to the top.
See?
Yeah, but I saw like the horizon of the water and everything, but I did not go to the top.
Coach Warner told us that sometimes they take people up to the roof,
and
I guess that's the hook. The final hook. If somebody's like, yeah, maybe I'm thinking about it, and they go to the top and look, the beach is only a mile away. There it is. So if you're so you get a bye week, like you just had a bye week a few weeks ago. All right, you get a little bit of time off from practice. What do you do? I know you go fishing, and I said there's a great picture of you. I was going to use it, the picture of you on the boat. Somebody photoshopped. I'm assuming somebody photoshopped you laying back on the boat. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You're not out there in all your uniform, all suited up going fishing, but TV. If you're going to sit down and binge watch some TV, 24, Homeland, things like that, or
I'm going to binge watch TV, like a go-to show that I love.
Yeah, something that
Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Yellowstone, yes.
Are you up to date?
I'm pretty sure I watched the last season. I'll just go back through and rewatch. But that's a big one. I love that one. And what's another show? I love The Walking Dead until the end. I really didn't start digging the end, but those are two shows I love. I've
never watched The Walking Dead. I've just never gotten into it, but I never thought I would get into Yellowstone. I kept hearing Yellowstone. I hate cowboy movies. I'm not a Western guy, and and Kevin Costner. I do not like him. Yellowstone is the greatest show in the history of shows.
Yes, it is top tier.
Like for years, I had The Sopranos and Breaking Bad at the top. And I thought nobody could compete. Yellowstone blows them away. It's not even close.
Top tier.
No, that's so. This week,
Mm-hmm.
Can we expect 56 points again? Oh, wait a minute. Before that, what was up with that? I wanted to ask Coach Herman in the post-game press conference, and I just didn't get to. What was up? You know what I'm going to ask, don't you?
I do know what you're gonna ask.
What was up with that onside kick? Was he trying to create a rivalry? Was he?
It was just like,
Did somebody piss him off from the other side? What was up with that?
I don't know. I come up to him and I'm like, talk to him, like just give him a nod because me and him were just, I just acknowledge each other's presence after the game. And he just smiles, he winks at me, and he goes, "You know what I called?" And I'm like, "What'd you call?" And he just told us what we call it. And I was like, "Okay." And I was like, I just walk away and I'm like, "There's no shot he called that." And I mean, for me, it's like, if we're going to practice something, might as well practice in a real game situation. If we're going to have something, I'd at least break it out to see if it works. So, I mean, he made the call, and, I'll follow that guy through fire. So whatever he does, I'm on board with. But I don't really know everything behind it. But, yeah.
Hey, you guys went in to half. They just scored, make it 21-14. You guys come out, you get the ground and pound touchdown. But then you get that punt return touchdown, right? So what does that do for you guys? Are you just like, yep, there it is? Yeah.
That's the crippling moment for them. Absolutely.
Yeah, crippling moment. You want to go out on defense after that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're like, it's time. We smell it now.
We just got off the field, but we're like, nah, let's go. Yeah.
But when that happens, do you start to feel and realize in real time that, hey, you know what? Everything coach has been saying, yeah, look, it's happening.
Yeah.
Because like, what was the halftime speech? You guys went up by 2 scores. They came back. They cut it to 14-7. You guys went up 21-7 right before the half. They cut it to you know what I love too, because I'm such a hater against anybody you're playing now.
Yeah.
When they scored a touchdown, they got taken down. But the celebration that they did on the field, it was like they just won the Super Bowl. It was like they just won the final Super Bowl of all Super Bowls. It was just a touchdown, and they were still losing at that point. And then they took it down. I was like, oh, you know what? Good for you. But anyway, what was the halftime speech? Because it was a close game, and it was following the pattern of all your previous games. So, what did he say?
There's nothing to change. I mean, we just got to go out and execute. That was it. Just execute. I mean, they train us and simulate us for situations like this all the time, like real-time simulations. Like, so the games are easy, but it's just, errors, mental errors, just little things that didn't need to happen. I mean, big plays, double moves. We struggle with those, So he was just talking about execute. Just do your job. That's it. Just show up and do your job, and we'll be fine. And that's all we did second half, and just rolled them.
Do you plan on going back to Maryland after you're done with school? Or you're going to go wherever the FBI sends you?
I don't know. It's up in the air. I mean, ball's an opportunity. If I'm blessed enough to play at the next level, I'm gonna do that. And then I don't know. I like it. I like the weather down here. It's kind of tough. I haven't really thought about that one too much.
They run through the farm, then send them to South Beach. And be like, here's your temporary assignment, permanent assignment, Idaho.
Better than Gaza Strip or Iraq or whatever.
Right. Stateside.
Shoot, I was going to go somewhere and I lost my train of thought now. So what's the game plan this week against UT? I always get UTSA, right? Is that right? Whoever it is, your opponent this week. Is it UTSA?
UTSA.
Yeah, okay, UTSA.
They got a great run game. I mean, they're good at what they do. So we just got to go out and execute, stop the run. That's huge. It's our number one thing. Just go out there, stop the run, and then they got an athletic quarterback, lefty. We haven't seen one yet, so I mean he's good feet too, but supposedly he's had some feet issues, so I don't think he'll be scrambling around too much. I mean, we held USF's quarterback to a decent amount of yards, so I think we'll be good this week. And just on the back end, we just got to cover down and we'll be fine. Just stop the run. That's a big one. I think they got a 3-headed demon at running back, so it's gonna be fun.
In all the previous games so far this year, right? Like we coming off this monster victory. You get some ones where you get squeaked out some wins. You got the ones where you got clobbered in one, and then the other ones you lost in tight games. Where do you what type of game do you take more away from? I mean, do you actually? I guess you learn something about yourself when you blow a team out like you just did.
Yeah.
At this point, it's just like, hey, yeah, we can do this. But if any one of those games so far this season, if there's one that you could say, you know what, I think I got more out of this game, win or lose, than any of the other ones.
That's tough. See, the losses, you always want to learn from your losses, but also like the wins. I want to say this last game because we saw what we could actually do. Like when we're all firing on all cylinders, but at the same time, it's like this one was great, but we really could have held them to a shutout. And there's always room for improvement. So I really think it was this game because we really, once we saw everything that happened and we're like, okay, Coach Herman, everything he speaks, like everybody's starting to, come on board to what he's saying. I mean, even though it's week 6? Was that week 6? I think something like that, but
yeah, that was week 6.
It was week 6. But I think this game was, a milestone for us moving forward.
Can you guys win the conference?
Absolutely.
Are you guys confident that you're going to win the conference?
Yeah.
Who do you see as the biggest challenge?
UTSA and Tulane. Not to look ahead, but
okay.
That's what I'm hearing. This is my first time, in the conference, but everybody, but that's what I'm hearing. UTSA and Tulane.
All right. So I want to talk to you about something that I know we spoke to Bert about this. Do you guys call him Bert? Because I'm calling him Bert. Jerron called him Bert, so now I call him Bert. So
yeah, Bert.
And so also Bert now, like I reached out to him when you guys were on the bus driving home the other night because I had to write an article. But I wanted to look like a big shot. So I was like, Bert, can you give me a quote? So, expect that text once in a while. You know what I mean? Hey, Ambush, can you please, and what do they call you? Do they call you Jackson? Do they call you Ambush? Do they call you, everybody's got a nickname. Ambush
sticks. I mean, they call me by my first name, Bobby. So I got a bunch. Yeah.
I'll call you Mr. Ambush. So when you get a text that says from Dear Mr. Ambush, may I please have a quote?
I got you.
Anyway, here's what I wanted to ask. All right. So just real short, because this is about you, not me. A year ago, I had never watched a college football game in my life.
Okay.
Somebody talked me into watching Florida State. I watched it for a quarter. It was the longest quarter in my life. I said, I'll never watch college football again. Then FAU came to us as media, and I said, yes, okay, absolutely, I will go. And I love college football. I'm watching every game. Whenever there's a game, it's on TV. My wife, my kid, they're like, what are you watching now? You don't watch football. You're a baseball guy. And it's Thursday night. It's Friday. It's, freaking Dion. And the Colorado game, 1:00 in the morning last week. But the fans, what bothers me with FAU, and I've said this out loud, and I've said it to Coach Herman, and Coach Herman said that it bothers him too. You guys are not getting enough people in those seats. Okay. Now, Coach Herman, he said, if you know Pitbull, or if you can get somebody to come down here that will draw some people. I told him, I said, I'll get a bullhorn and start going around campus at 4:00 in the morning, waking people up, giving away free tickets. And he said, we'll come get you out of jail if you do that, but feel free to do it if that's what it takes. You guys played in Raymond James last week. They had 31,000, I think was the number. Yeah, and when you're in a big stadium like that, it doesn't look so full because it's such a gigantic stadium. But what stuck out to me, two things stuck out to me. One, I couldn't believe how well you guys traveled, even though it was a short trip. It's only 4 hours. There were a lot of FAU fans. When I got there and I walked through the parking lot, the tailgate, I came across a lot of FAU people. Inside the stadium, there were a lot of FAU fans. Overall, though, forget FAU or USF fans, it felt different inside that stadium. The crowd was different. The bands were different. It was just kind of, to me, it felt way more electric than any other game. And I'm not knocking, because I know that there's some really loyal FAU fans that are coming out, and they're awesome. but there's a lot of people that are not coming out. And welcome to South Florida. No one comes out to any sporting events here. It's really hard. The Dolphins, they draw in the beginning of the season, and they're drawn now because they're good. But in the past, week 4 or 5, the stadium's half empty. You can get the tickets on StubHub. Seriously. The Marlins, forget about it. Nobody goes. They could be giving everybody $1,000 to attend the game. Still, nobody goes to the Marlin games. The Heat, the people show up when they win. The Panthers, they show up when they win. You guys are winning. You guys are good. How important, how much more excited would you be on the field? Does it help you guys perform better as a team? Do you feed? I know what the other guy said, but I'm asking you because we have a problem. And it's my assignment. You be a Homeland Security. So remember this. I'm going to bring people to the stands. When a terrorist attack comes in the future or something happens, you got to say, where's AJ? I got to get AJ and his family real quick. And my dogs. You got to take care of my dogs too. Okay. But anyway, the fans, man, how important is it? Because I looked up also the average attendance in Albany, and that was I'm sure it was great for Albany, but it was hideous. I mean, it
was disgusting.
Last year, I think it was 2,400 on the low, 2,300 on the low side, 8,200 on the high side. Yeah. SAU at home is averaging about 18,000 right now per game. How much would you like to have that stadium filled up? How much would it drive you guys to perform even more?
Oh, it would be electric. That'd be so exciting. That'd be, I mean, the pinnacle. Just walking in there and every seat's filled. It'd be great. But I think I know the root of your issue though. It's those tailgates, man. Those tailgates, they get a little rowdy over there.
Well, you guys walked through the tailgate last 2 weeks ago, right? Were there people passed out already by 3:30 when you walked through?
Probably. I was zoned in, had my sunglasses on. I wasn't really paying attention. But yeah, probably.
I know some guys on the job in Boca, so we can get out there and check everybody's IDs beforehand. We can cut that all off, and if that's what's going to get them in the seats, I don't know. But it's my mission to put. So here we go. All right, I'm going to ask you this right now because where we excel, like, had you ever heard of us before Katrina even approached you?
No, I haven't. And then I did my research on you guys, and I was like, oh, this seems like a cool opportunity. Yeah.
That's cool. We never heard of you either before this season. So but, we want more people there. So where we excel, we're growing. We're a startup, but it's for fans by fans. So it's all literally. So us being credentialed media sort of is kind of against what we set out to be, for fans by fans type of deal. But YouTube, TikTok, things like that. That's where we excel, and that's where we grow. So I'm going to ask you, because I'm going to chop this. I'm going to put it on YouTube or TikTok or somewhere. What would you say? Here's your chance right now. Make your case to the people that have not showed up yet, whether they're students or whether they're just people that live in Boca, live in Palm Beach, Tri-County takeover, but start in Palm Beach County. What are we going to do to get them off their butts into the stadium this Saturday night?
Come be a part of something great. I mean, that's it. It's great whenever, you see your team go to championship. That's it. Just win the conference. That's the goal, and that's what we're going to do. Set out to do it. That's what we've been training for this whole time. So it'd be great to have every seat filled in the house.
Awesome. And then let me ask you this also, and I love asking questions maybe that you guys can't answer, and then we'll let you go. But did you see what happened? So all this talk and hype and buzz and everything with Colorado, 29-0, they lose, and then Dion, Coach Prime, kind of points the finger at every. Did you see that? Did you see what he said? Or
whenever you're talking before I came in.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Go eyeball it. But what are your thoughts on it? Is Dion too much hype? Because
I don't know. As a leader standpoint, for me, especially seeing Coach Herman, because like I said before, I'll follow that dude in the fire. But as a leader, you just got, no matter what, it falls through you. So self-accountability is huge. If you're sitting there and you want to point the finger at everybody else, your name's on it. It's like me missing the game tackle or whatever, Like Coach Herman's name's on it. Like you got to take accountability. Like I don't care if they were up when I went to sleep. I was watching the game. It was 29-0. Fall asleep. Wake up the next morning. Everybody's like Colorado lost, and I'm like, what? They're up 29-0. But yeah, no, I don't want to say I lost respect for the dude, but I mean, in a sense, yeah. Like you're head honcho. You can't be out there blaming everybody else.
Are you following the baseball playoffs at all right now, or
no? No time. I don't even watch NFL. I mean, we're in here on Sundays from I'm in here 10:30 to 7. I barely watch sports. I just go to sleep every night, throw on a little show, watch some film. That's it.
So when December hits, all right, I think December 2nd is the conference championship game.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that's your final game of the season, the conference championship game.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have to, I'm going to guess by NCAA rules, have to get some time off where the coaches can't make you show up all day, every day. What are you doing? What are you eating? What are you eating that you can't eat right now? Christmas. What are you looking forward to? Christmas month, you're going to go home. It's going to be a white Christmas. It's going to be all because you're going to miss that. The longer you stay down here and you start experiencing Christmases down here, the heat, like you, I came down here young. I'm from Jersey. And I loved it because I hated the cold. I grew up in the cold. I went in the Army. I was stationed in Germany. The snow was like over my head in Germany. I came to Florida. Now I can't stand this heat. I mean, it's unbearable. It's old man stuff. You'll get there at some point. All right.
Got a train to make them shake.
Going home for White Christmas. The whole thing. I always turn it around to me. What are you looking forward to when the season's over? What do you want to do? What do you want to eat?
When I go home, man, I just want to pray. I'm a workout. Like I'm a workaholic, so I love working out. So I'm gonna do that. And my grandmother, she cooks anything and everything I want. She spoils me. As soon as I come home, she'll have, oh my gosh, cookies on display. I mean, icing, everything, the whole nine. She'll probably bake me a cake when I go home. And her chicken and dumpling in the wintertime. Oh, that's my favorite. That's my go-to. Yeah, she puts a little bit of weight on me when I go back in the wintertime.
But that's all right. They'll work it off you when they're allowed to get back on you.
Yeah, especially in this heat. Absolutely.
So you're in between. So if I was driving up to Jersey to see my family for Christmas, you're a little bit, a couple hours from Jersey. So if I coordinate with you right around one of Grandma's meals,
absolutely.
More than welcome to come in for a pit stop, right?
Yeah, doors are open. My family. Yeah, we're watching right now, actually. So yeah, they'll give you.
What I would love, man, is number one, I appreciate you coming on. I think that some of the players are scared. One of your teammates even ghosted us, so they were going to show up and didn't. I'm not going to say his name, but he's one guy. Is all I'm going to say. All right. I appreciate you coming on. We try to have fun. I look for podcasts, interviews, things that you or Jaquan or Dron has done in the past. And I saw a bunch with Dron, and it's all like just football,
yeah.
nose and this. And I'm like, man, the guy lives that. I'm sure he would love to get away from it for a few minutes. So we just want to try to get to know you and get our audience to know you so that they'll start to follow you, which if they want to follow you, where can they follow you, first of all? You
can follow me on Instagram. Pretty sure it's JAmbush43, or if you just type Jackson Ambush, I'll pop up. Same thing on Twitter.
All right. And do you have I'm still learning. Bert was trying to teach me this, and I still don't. But the NIL, if somebody wants to, right? NIL, NIL?
NIL?
Yeah, if somebody wants, I'm calling it NIL. I guess you guys don't say that. All right. NIL, if you, no wonder I don't understand that. I can't even say it. If somebody wants to get you to sing them happy birthday or to endorse a product or anything, is there NIL?
Yeah. You can hit me through Instagram on DM. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so they can just contact you directly and then, okay.
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right. That is awesome. And the last thing I want to ask you to commit to, and the Houston Astros are up 4-0 in the second inning, for anybody who cares about that. But I think everybody's here for Mr. Ambush right now. After the season, I'd love to get a few of you guys together here in the studio, because we're in the process of actually building another. This is a new studio, and we're building another new one, which will be up in a couple weeks. So I'd love to have you guys in maybe around Christmas or after the season's over, and we can feed you guys. It won't be as good as grandma's, but we'll get some good food and whatnot. Oh, and your favorite restaurant that you've discovered down here so far? Do you have a good one?
That's tough.
Are you living in Boca or are you
I'm
living?
Boca.
Okay.
Yes, I'm in like 5-8 minutes from the school.
Okay.
I went to Lucky Fish the other day. That was pretty good. Just nice view off the beach. Nothing too crazy. I haven't really had time to experience much of the food around here.
All right, 2 Georges, Boynton Beach. 2 Georges. It's right on the intercoastal. Put that on your to-do list. That's my go-to when all my friends from Maryland and Jersey and Philly, they all come down. I take them to 2 Georges, and the next thing I know, they're buying houses down here just because they want to go to the food used to be better, but it's just the whole atmosphere because you can drive your boat right up to it and dock there, and it's a great place. But man, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you, guys.
I'm rooting for you after the game, whether it's this week or next week or whenever there's the opportunity. I'm going to flag you down so I can say hello in person.
Sure.
And I'd love to have you back.
Absolutely.
So it was JAmbush43 on Instagram.
Yep.
Is that your main social? Do you mess around with Twitter a lot, or you guys are all pretty silent? Is that like a Coach Herman thing to sort of?
Just I don't know. We don't really bother with it too much. I mean, we'll repost for recruiting and stuff like I do for Instagram, but Twitter, I mean, I'll answer and respond on Twitter. It might take me a little bit though, because Twitter's not my go-to social media. But
these guys don't need burner accounts like Durant. They're good.
No, we're good. We're good.
Jackson Ambush this week. FAU 6:00. FAU Stadium in Boca Raton. They're going to open up another can of whoop. Yep, on US. It doesn't matter who it is. Just put someone in front of them, and that's how we're rolling now.
Absolutely.
All right, man. We appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it.
All right. Have a great night.
You too.
Guys, that was Jackson Ambush. He's a cool dude, man. I like him.